What horrors lurk behind your neighbor's door? In New Orleans LaLaurie Mansion, tortured souls wail in silent agony. At the infamous Amityville house, midnight gunshots shatter a family's fate. These aren't just crimes, something sinister stirs in the darkness. Dare to step inside. Have you ever wondered what's truly hidden behind the elegance and grandeur of an old mansion? What dark secrets could such a beautiful facade conceal in the heart of New Orleans? Louisiana stands a mansion with an infamous reputation. LaLaurie Mansion, elegant yet sinister, grand yet deeply troubling. Tourists often walk past, snapping pictures, whispering theories, feeling an unsettling chill ripple down their spines. But do they truly understand the depths of horror buried behind its graceful walls? It was April 10, 1834, a seemingly ordinary evening that would soon spiral into chaos, forever embedding the mansion's dark legend into the city's history. Flames erupted suddenly, consuming the opulent halls of the LaLaurie Mansion. Screams echoed through the smoky streets as neighbors and firefighters rushed to help. But amidst the burning embers and the rushing crowds, a haunting question lingered. Unanswered, was this merely an accidental fire, or a desperate act to conceal something far darker, more sinister, and deeply horrifying as firefighters fought through billowing smoke and suffocating heat? They reached a hidden attic door, tightly locked, suspiciously barricaded, when forced open. What lay beyond wasn't merely shocking, it was utterly soul-shattering. Bodies, chained, tortured, and barely clinging to life, met their horrified gazes. The harrowing scene raised chilling questions. What monstrous acts occurred behind closed doors? Who could be capable of such inhuman cruelty, and most disturbingly, why? Join us as we unravel the spine-chilling mystery of LaLaurie Mansion, a story of wealth, power, and hidden evil. Prepare yourself for revelations that will challenge everything you think you know about human nature, privilege, and the thin line between sanity and madness. As we delve into the dark heart of one of America's most infamous true crime stories, ask yourself this chilling question. What would you do if you discovered your neighbor's darkest secret? Stay tuned, because the answers may haunt you long after this story ends. Welcome to the chilling true crime mystery of LaLaurie Mansion, Delphine. LaLaurie was known throughout New Orleans as a woman of extraordinary grace and sophistication. A prominent socialite born into privilege and wealth, her lavish parties and extravagant lifestyle were the talk of the city. But beneath the silk gowns and sparkling jewels, was there a hidden darkness? Neighbors and friends described her as charming, charismatic, and impeccably mannered yet distant. She exuded a commanding presence. One glance could silence a room, and her words could enchant or intimidate at will. Her mansion, located at 1140 Royal Street, was a symbol of her wealth and power, a sprawling estate with ornate balconies and lush gardens that masked its dreadful secrets well. But there were rumors. Whispers floated quietly through the narrow, gas-lit streets of New Orleans, hinting at something sinister. Servants, enslaved workers, often came and went without explanation. Some neighbors spoke of hearing muffled screams at odd hours, quickly silenced and brushed away as mere imaginations running wild. Were these simply malicious gossip, or were they whispers of a darker truth struggling to emerge? Then, everything changed on that fateful night of April 10, 1834. The evening was unusually calm, nothing seemed amiss. Suddenly, screams pierced the tranquil silence. Flames surged upward, crackling fiercely from the kitchen area, rapidly consuming the mansion's elegant interiors. Firefighters raced to the scene, hoses blasting streams of water against the unrelenting flames. Amidst the confusion, they quickly realized something wasn't right. Servants frantically warned rescuers to search the attic, the one place always forbidden, always locked, breaking through barriers and debris. The firefighters reached a reinforced attic door, bolted and chained from the outside, when finally forced open. A nauseating stench filled their nostrils, a foul, putrid odor that made even seasoned rescue workers recoil. Inside, the sight before them was a scene from nightmares. Dozens of people, enslaved men and women, chained to the walls, emaciated, bearing evidence of unimaginable torment, limbs twisted unnaturally, skin scarred with deep wounds, expressions haunted, hollow, instruments of cruelty scattered around iron collars with spikes turned inward, restraints soaked in dried blood. It was clear the attic had long been a place of relentless and sadistic horror, yet, disturbingly, several details immediately raised chilling questions. Police noted peculiar evidence. Chains and restraints were meticulously arranged, suggesting a bizarre methodical ritual rather than random cruelty. Medical experts of the era noted peculiar injuries inconsistent with standard punishments, signs of strange experiments. Perhaps a grim curiosity driving someone to understand human pain thresholds or the anatomy of suffering itself. Even more puzzling were witness accounts. One servant, trembling uncontrollably as authorities questioned her, spoke of the madam's visits, quiet footsteps climbing attic stairs nightly, softly humming, whispers followed by agonized screams. Another, a neighbor, claimed to have glimpsed Delphine through an open window at odd hours, holding strange instruments, her face illuminated by flickering candlelight, utterly serene amidst the horror. Could these testimonies hold a deeper, more sinister meaning? Investigators struggled to make sense of the emerging evidence. The mansion itself seemed to resist giving up its secrets. Strange occurrences were reported even during the rescue efforts. Firefighters swore their tools inexplicably vanished or broke apart. Lanterns extinguished without explanation, and shadows seemed to move unnaturally on the walls. Whispering voices drifting through empty hallways. Amid the chaos, Delphine LaLaurie disappeared without a trace. Witnesses reported seeing her hurriedly leaving the premises as flames first erupted, stepping calmly into a waiting carriage, her expression unnervingly calm. Did she deliberately set the fire to erase evidence? Was this all part of a calculated escape? Detectives meticulously examined every inch of the mansion, seeking clues about LaLaurie's true intentions and whereabouts. Letters, personal effects, and documents were confiscated and scrutinized. Yet, each lead produced only more confusion, more unsettling questions. And perhaps the most baffling mystery of all emerged days later. Although extensive efforts were made to locate Delphine, it was as if she had simply vanished into thin air. The police discovered suspiciously little evidence of her escape. No credible eyewitness reports beyond the initial sightings. No sign of travel arrangements or preparations beforehand. Who exactly was Delphine LaLaurie? A wealthy socialite lost in madness, a calculating monster cloaked in elegance, and what was she truly trying to achieve behind those locked attic doors? Stay with us, because the answers ahead will challenge everything you think you know, pushing this chilling mystery to a terrifying crescendo, and revealing truths even more disturbing than you dare imagine. Just when investigators thought that they had seen the worst, new evidence surfaced, plunging the mystery of LaLaurie Mansion into even deeper darkness. As New Orleans reeled from the shocking discovery in the attic, the city demanded justice. But one question haunted everyone: where had Delphine LaLaurie gone? Could someone disappear so swiftly, leaving nothing but shadows behind? Detectives meticulously combed through every inch of the mansion. Amidst the charred remains, something peculiar caught their eye: hidden compartments meticulously carved into the walls. Inside, they uncovered an alarming collection: letters, journals, and sketches detailing grotesque experiments. The diaries were filled with chillingly precise notes, detailed diagrams depicting anatomical horrors, and observations about pain thresholds and endurance. Yet, what unsettled authorities most was the calculated nature of it all. Each victim was chosen methodically, carefully observed, and experimented upon as if subjects in a twisted scientific study. The city's top criminal psychologists stepped in, poring over Delphine's writings, attempting to unravel the enigma. Their conclusion was stark and unsettling. Delphine was no mere sadist. She was something far more complex: an obsessive personality with psychopathic tendencies, driven by a pathological curiosity about suffering and dominance. Meanwhile, whispers from the city's frightened residents began to swirl. One eyewitness stepped forward, a shopkeeper named Thomas Grayson. He claimed that just a week before the fire, he'd seen Delphine meeting secretly with a cloaked figure. He described her companion as eerily tall, with movements disturbingly graceful, unnatural. Police initially dismissed his testimony as hysteria or exaggeration, but then another witness emerged, a young street vendor who swore he'd seen the same mysterious figure leaving the mansion grounds the night of the fire, moving silently through shadows, vanishing into the darkness as if never truly there. Was this stranger an accomplice or something even more terrifying? In the frantic days after the fire, more inexplicable evidence emerged. Police found Delphine's personal carriage abandoned near the Mississippi River. The scene inside was troubling, delicate gloves neatly placed on the seat, an unfinished letter written in French, ending abruptly mid-sentence. Je crains que je ne puisse pas arrêter ce que j'ai commencé. I fear I cannot stop what I've begun. Experts theorized the implications endlessly. Had Delphine planned to escape overseas, only to be intercepted or perhaps betrayed? Could the cloaked figure have been a collaborator? Or was Delphine herself a pawn in a darker game? As the investigation stretched on, theories exploded across newspapers and whispered debates. Some believed Delphine faked her death and lived secretly in Paris. Others speculated a supernatural explanation, claiming that the cloaked figure was no human at all, but something sinister summoned by Delphine's dark deeds. Decades later, in the early 20th century, investigators revisited the mansion. Workers renovating the building reported hearing distant, tormented screams and seeing shadowy apparitions pacing behind boarded-up windows. Paranormal experts descended upon LaLaurie Mansion, recording strange electromagnetic readings and capturing unexplained images, shadows that seemed to move with purpose, as if desperately seeking release. Even today, debate rages fiercely online, with forums and social media platforms buzzing with theories and speculation. Modern psychological profilers, true crime enthusiasts, and paranormal investigators dissect the haunting case. But each answer spawns yet more chilling questions. Was Delphine LaLaurie solely responsible, or was she manipulated by a more malevolent entity? Could the mansion itself be cursed, trapped in perpetual torment from atrocities committed within? Who or what was the cloaked stranger repeatedly spotted on the grounds today? LaLaurie Mansion remains shrouded in mystery, its secrets unsolved, forever taunting investigators and captivating those who dare to dig deeper. And now, dear listeners, the question turns to you. What do you believe really happened within those opulent, cursed walls? Was Delphine LaLaurie purely evil, a victim of madness, or was she merely one player in an even darker, more sinister story? Comment below with your theories. And remember, sometimes the truth is far more terrifying than any fiction. Stay tuned for the conclusion of this harrowing story. Will linger in your nightmares, challenging everything you thought you knew about evil, humanity, and the thin veil separating them. As the years stretched into decades, LaLaurie Mansion remained shrouded in dark ambiguity, an enigma etched into the soul of New Orleans. Stories whispered from one generation to the next, each retelling layered with fresh fears and darker mysteries. Yet, the truth remains stubbornly elusive, locked behind silent walls, hidden beneath floors stained with ancient horrors. Many have tried to find closure, yet none have succeeded. Police archives, historical records, and paranormal case files each offered clues, yet none provided resolution. And perhaps that's precisely why this story continues to haunt, captivating the imagination with its unanswered questions. Some say that Delphine LaLaurie fled to France, where she lived anonymously, tormented nightly by memories of her deeds. Others whisper darker tales, convinced she remains trapped forever within the mansion itself, her spirit condemned to wander those hallways, forever burdened by remorse, or perhaps, frighteningly, devoid of any remorse at all. But the question remains disturbingly unresolved. If Delphine truly escaped justice, what message does that send to us? Even today, what darker truths lurk within the hearts of those we least suspect? Neighbors, friends, even family. Could anyone we know harbor such hidden cruelty beneath a facade of charm and elegance today? Tourists wander through LaLaurie Mansion's shadowy rooms, drawn by the allure of mystery and the tantalizing fear of touching the unknown. Visitors claim to hear faint sobbing from locked rooms, whispers carried on winds that shouldn't exist indoors, shadows darting just out of view, glimpses of suffering preserved eternally. Psychologists and criminologists continue to study Delphine's case, attempting to dissect the unsettling psychology behind her deeds. Yet, for all their expertise, a definitive answer remains stubbornly unreachable. Delphine's true motives, her fate, and her final days remain obscured by history's relentless veil. And perhaps that is the cruelest twist of all the lingering uncertainty, the gnawing discomfort of unanswered questions. It is an ending without closure, a story refusing to rest, forever echoing softly in the imagination of anyone daring to approach LaLaurie Mansion's elegant, sinister facade. But maybe, just maybe, that's exactly how Delphine LaLaurie intended it to be. So, now, as we leave the shadowy halls behind, one final, chilling question lingers in the heavy silence. Are some secrets better left buried forever, or should we keep digging, risking uncovering truths too horrifying to bear? The choice is yours. Thank you for joining us. Please share your theories and thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Who knows, perhaps next time, we'll uncover the truth together. Until then, stay curious, and beware the secrets hidden behind closed doors. What if the voices in your head weren't just your imagination, but something truly evil whispering to you in the dark? In the chilling early hours of November 13, 1974, the sleepy suburban peace of Amityville, Long Island, was shattered by a gruesome crime that stunned America. Ronald DeFeo Jr., just 23 years old, quietly rose from his bed, took his rifle, and calmly walked through the corridors of his family's home at 112 Ocean Avenue. In the darkness, he shot each of his 6 family members as they slept peacefully: his parents, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters, all lying face down in their beds, none waking or attempting to flee. The precision, the eerie silence, the chilling calmness of his actions all raised haunting questions immediately. What drove Ronald to commit this unspeakable act? Was it madness, malevolence, or something far darker whispering from within the walls of the infamous house? As police sirens wailed and the neighborhood awoke to flashing blue and red lights, detectives found Ronald on the porch, calmly smoking a cigarette. His chillingly calm demeanor offered investigators a first unsettling clue. Looking straight into their eyes, he uttered words that would resonate hauntingly in the decades that followed. "I couldn't stop. The voices, they wouldn't let me." Were these voices merely symptoms of a broken mind, or something terrifyingly real and inexplicable? Stay tuned as we journey into one of America's most chilling, controversial, and unsolved mysteries, the horror that is Amityville. 112 Ocean Avenue was a picturesque Dutch colonial house in Amityville, Long Island, a quiet, charming suburb. With its iconic gambrel roof, neatly trimmed hedges, and inviting front porch, it seemed the epitome of the American dream. But what lay beneath the inviting facade? Ronald DeFeo Jr., known affectionately as Butch to his friends, grew up in privilege. The DeFeo family appeared normal, prosperous, and well-liked within their community, but hidden behind closed doors were darker truths. Friends and neighbors often whispered rumors about Ronald Jr.'s turbulent relationship with his father. Ronald Sr., a domineering figure prone to explosive fits of rage and violence. Ronald Jr. himself was increasingly unstable. By 23, his behavior had deteriorated sharply, worsened by heavy drug use, alcohol addiction, and deepening psychological turmoil. Friends would later recount his paranoid rants and erratic mood swings. Yet, despite numerous warning signs, no one anticipated the horror that was brewing beneath his troubled surface. November 13, 1974, at approximately 3:15 a.m., marked the moment when Ronald's turmoil finally boiled over into violence. With calculated calmness, Ronald rose from his bed and retrieved his .35 caliber Marlin rifle, silently stepping through the hallways. He first entered his parents' room. Ronald Sr. and Louise were sleeping soundly, oblivious to the nightmare approaching. Ronald raised his weapon and fired 2 shots each, methodically ensuring their demise. But here's where investigators became deeply unsettled. Why did no one wake up? No screams, no cries for help, just chilling silence. even as gunshots echoed through the home. Neighbors later claimed they heard no distinct shots, only faint, muffled noises. A baffling contradiction that puzzled police. How could such brutal killings happen without alerting a single victim or neighbor? Ronald continued calmly, methodically. He entered his brothers' and sisters' rooms. Mark, John, Allison, and Dawn, each victim found face down, lying neatly in their beds. Investigators later wondered, why were all victims positioned identically? Was this sheer coincidence or a deliberate, chillingly precise ritual? The crime scene painted a grim portrait. Police photographs captured bedsheets soaked in blood, walls splattered with horrific patterns. Yet, amidst this carnage, Ronald himself appeared unnervingly composed. Responding officers described his eerie demeanor cold, indifferent, detached as if he were describing a mundane event, rather than confessing to mass murder in subsequent interrogations. Ronald Jr., his narrative fluctuated wildly. Initially, he claimed a mob hit, desperate to deflect blame, but soon after, his story shifted bizarrely. He began to speak of sinister voices, whispering relentlessly from the walls. "They kept telling me," Ronald whispered, eyes glazed, distant, haunted. "I had to do it. I couldn't disobey." Psychologists pored over Ronald's psychiatric evaluations, revealing disturbing layers: possible schizophrenia, paranoid delusions, severe antisocial personality disorder. His defense attorneys desperately built a plea of insanity, citing Ronald's deteriorating mental state. But was this enough to explain everything? Were the voices merely delusions, symptoms of his mental collapse, or did something more sinister truly inhabit 112 Ocean Avenue? The plot thickened when George and Kathy Lutz moved into the house nearly 1 year later, unaware of the horrors previously committed within, only 28 days after moving in. The Lutzes fled in panic, abandoning everything behind. Their chilling testimonies described vivid nightmares, shadowy apparitions, and unexplained, violent phenomena. Doors slammed inexplicably, voices whispered menacingly from empty rooms, and dark figures stalked hallways late at night, most unsettlingly. George Lutz awoke repeatedly at exactly 3:15 a.m., the precise time Ronald DeFeo Jr. slaughtered his family, his body trembling, drenched in sweat, his mind consumed by terror. Police reports described strange, inexplicable occurrences when examining the house again. Detective records noted equipment failures, cameras inexplicably malfunctioned, batteries drained instantly, and recordings filled with unexplained static or distorted whispering noises. Witnesses, neighbors, even seasoned detectives described a persistent, oppressive sense of dread whenever entering the property. Experts speculated openly, was the Lutz's panic merely psychological contagion, a hysteria triggered by awareness of the murders, or were there truly supernatural forces at play? Dark entities entrenched within the house's walls. The Amityville case rapidly became a national fascination, fueling debates among criminologists, psychologists, paranormal experts, and ordinary citizens alike, as detectives wrestled to untangle contradictions. Testimony from friends and neighbors muddied the waters further. Some insisted Ronald Jr. had accomplices, or that other family members may have been involved, especially his sister Dawn, rumored to harbor deep resentments of her own. Could Dawn have played a role? Was Ronald Jr. the lone perpetrator, or was there something even darker? Hidden beneath official narratives, stay tuned as the unsettling details deepen and shocking revelations emerge. This horrifying mystery takes yet another terrifying turn, revealing secrets far more sinister than anyone ever imagined. Just as investigators believed they'd pieced together the horrific puzzle, new chilling evidence emerged, pulling the rug from beneath every assumption they'd held. Police initially concluded Ronald DeFeo Jr. acted alone, but troubling inconsistencies surfaced quickly. Investigators meticulously reviewed the ballistic reports, crime scene photos, and forensic details once more. How could Ronald fire multiple rounds from a high-powered rifle without a single family member awakening or attempting to flee? This critical question led detectives back to the neighbors. One neighbor, Janet Myers, provided a previously overlooked testimony, claiming to have seen two shadowy figures, not just one, lurking around the house on the night of the murders. Her statements had been initially dismissed as confusion, but upon re-examination, investigators were shaken. Who was this mysterious second figure? Could Ronald DeFeo Jr. have had a chilling accomplice that night, further adding to the twisted puzzle? Forensic experts uncovered unusual footprints in the home's rear garden prints that matched no known member of the DeFeo family or responding officers. Yet, these footprints led nowhere, vanishing inexplicably near the garden gate. Meanwhile, Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s shifting narrative took another haunting turn. During intense interrogations, he began mumbling incoherently about a dark figure, a presence he insisted stood beside him during each horrific act. His voice, now drained of arrogance, trembled with palpable terror. He was right there, telling me what to do, standing beside me. He guided my hands. I couldn't resist him. Psychologists analyzed Ronald's statements meticulously. Was he describing a psychotic hallucination, symptomatic of schizophrenia, or genuinely recounting the presence of an accomplice? Experts fiercely debated. Was Ronald a deeply disturbed individual fabricating stories? Or could he genuinely have been manipulated by another simultaneously? The Lutz family's harrowing experiences amplified national curiosity. After their panicked flight from 112 Ocean Avenue, paranormal investigators, notably Ed and Lorraine Warren, entered the house. The Warrens recorded disturbing phenomena, strange whispers, sudden temperature drops, and powerful emotional waves of dread and aggression. During one chilling night, the Warrens captured a photograph now infamous, a shadowy figure peering out from an upstairs room, the same room where one victim was murdered. The photo stirred worldwide speculation. Could this shadowy figure be evidence of a sinister presence still inhabiting the Amityville house? Criminologists and paranormal experts clashed openly. Skeptics argued fiercely that the paranormal events were psychological manifestations of trauma and hysteria, exacerbated by media frenzy. Yet others, including seasoned detectives and respected paranormal specialists, refused to dismiss the evidence as mere hysteria. Then, another shocking revelation came to light. Ronald Jr.'s younger sister, Dawn DeFeo, long suspected by some, became central to renewed speculation. Investigators re-examined the crime scene, noting suspicious powder burns on Dawn's nightgown, suggesting she might have fired a weapon. Could Dawn have assisted Ronald, or perhaps she initiated the violence herself, prompting Ronald's involvement to complicate matters further? A newly surfaced diary belonging to Dawn revealed haunting entries, words dripping with anger, resentment, and desperation. Cryptic notes mentioned ending it all, and references to escaping the voices in the walls, eerily paralleling Ronald's own claims. Public interest surged online and on social media platforms. True crime communities, TikTok creators, and armchair detectives offered theories. Was Dawn another victim of the home's oppressive, possibly supernatural forces? Did Ronald truly commit these acts alone, or did the house itself manipulate its occupants, driving them relentlessly toward violence? Modern psychological profiling suggests Ronald and Dawn, trapped within a toxic, abusive home environment, could have succumbed to shared psychotic disorder, an extraordinarily rare psychological condition where delusions and hallucinations transfer between closely connected individuals. But how would psychology explain neighbors' inexplicable sightings, forensic anomalies, and the chilling paranormal phenomena documented after the murders? Questions multiplied endlessly. Was there truly a supernatural element at play? Did the DeFeo siblings share a dangerous psychological bond, spiraling them both toward insanity and violence? Could the second figure sighted on that fateful night have been a manifestation of psychological projection, mass hysteria, or something infinitely darker, inexplicable? The terrifying truth might forever elude us, but the haunting ambiguity continues to captivate imaginations, provoking fierce debate among experts, authorities, and the public. As the evidence mounts and contradictions deepen, one thing remains chillingly certain. The Amityville horror refuses to rest peacefully, forever whispering its disturbing secrets, eternally waiting for answers. And now, dear listeners, the story shifts into your hands. What do you believe really happened inside 112 Ocean Avenue that night? Was Ronald DeFeo Jr. a lone madman, a manipulated pawn, or something far more sinister? Share your theories in the comments below and prepare yourselves, because the final haunting chapter of this tale awaits, sure to haunt your dreams long after this video ends. Decades have passed, yet the Amityville horror refuses to fade quietly into history. The shadow of uncertainty still clings stubbornly to 112 Ocean Avenue, relentlessly fueling endless debate and unsettling speculation. After exhaustive investigations and countless theories, authorities officially concluded Ronald DeFeo Jr. acted alone, sentencing him to multiple life sentences. Yet, the haunting inconsistencies, eerie witness accounts, and chilling paranormal events continue to defy simple explanations. Despite definitive conclusions by the courts, the DeFeo tragedy remains mired in profound mystery, each resolution raising more unsettling questions than answers. In the years following the murders, multiple families attempted to call the infamous Amityville house home, yet each quickly left, disturbed by inexplicable events, strange voices echoing down empty halls, sudden drops in temperature, inexplicable footsteps and shadowy apparitions. Each subsequent report added fuel to a fire of growing suspicion and fear. Was the house itself inherently evil, corrupted by violence and suffering? Could places absorb tragedy, replaying it eternally to new occupants, compelling them towards despair, madness? Or worse, psychologists and paranormal experts remain locked in heated debates, each presenting compelling evidence, yet arriving at drastically different conclusions. Psychologists argue passionately that Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s horrific acts were the devastating consequences of untreated mental illness, amplified by abuse, drug addiction, and psychological instability to them. The paranormal claims were a tragic byproduct of mass hysteria, fueled by sensational media and powerful imaginations. Yet paranormal investigators offer compelling counterpoints. Why have so many unrelated families experienced such similar, chilling events? How could detailed, matching testimonies and physical anomalies such as inexplicable electromagnetic spikes, disembodied voices captured on audio recordings, and eerie photographs be simply dismissed? But perhaps the most unsettling theory of all lies in the blurred intersection of psychology and the supernatural. Could prolonged exposure to trauma and violence create vulnerabilities, allowing something dark to take root, something invisible, malevolent, feeding off fear, despair, and tragedy? Even Ronald DeFeo Jr. himself, from behind prison bars, provided contradictory and increasingly bizarre accounts before his death in 2021. Occasionally lucid, frequently confused, DeFeo maintained until his final days that dark forces controlled his actions, a desperate delusion, or a chilling truth concealed by rational minds unable to accept such a terrifying reality today. The Amityville house remains standing, its address altered. Windows changed to deter visitors, but its sinister legacy is irrevocable. Tourists and thrill-seekers still pilgrimage to glimpse the notorious structure, a potent symbol of fascination and fear. Residents nearby insist that late at night, the house appears to breathe its walls, whispering softly, barely audible, echoes of past violence lingering, forever restless. This leaves us with the most disturbing question. Is evil simply a product of human cruelty and madness, or is it something tangible, lingering, patiently waiting for new souls to corrupt? Perhaps we'll never truly know. Perhaps some truths are destined to remain forever obscured by shadows waiting, quietly, patiently, to be rediscovered by those brave enough, or foolish enough, to keep searching. As you leave this chilling tale, consider carefully, could the thin line separating sanity from madness, reality from nightmare, be far easier to cross than we dare to imagine? And now, dear listeners, the Amityville horror turns to you. What is your truth if you've made it to the end? Share your theories, beliefs, and fears in the comments below. Did Ronald DeFeo Jr. truly act alone, driven by mental illness, or does something far darker still reside within 112 Ocean Avenue, waiting patiently for new occupants to move in? Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more unsettling mysteries. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and always question what lurks just beyond your sight.